Okay. So we're starting with the chapter 1 that talks about the introduction. This chapter explains what cybersecurity is and why the demand for cybersecurity professionals is growing. It explains what your online identity and data is, where it is, and why it is of interest to cyber criminals, okay? Because the whole of you getting into cybersecurity is to protect your data or protect an online identity from cyber criminals. That's the goal. So this chapter also discusses what organization data is and why it must be protected. It discusses who the cyber attackers are and what they want. So cybersecurity professionals must have the same skills as the cyber attackers, but cybersecurity professionals must work within the bounds of the local, national, and international law. Cybersecurity professionals must also use their skills ethically, okay? Also included in this chapter is content that briefly explains cyber warfare and why nations and governments need cybersecurity professionals to help protect their citizens, okay? All right, so we move to the next. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the connected electronic information network, okay, that has become an integral part of our daily lives. So all types of organizations such as medical, because you're asking a question now, if or where can you work? Medical, financial, educational institutions use this network to operate effectively. So they utilize the network by collecting, processing, storing, and sharing vast amounts of digital information. So as more digital information is gathered and shared, the protection of this information is becoming even more vital to our national security and economic stability. So cybersecurity is the ongoing effort to protect these network systems and all of the data from unauthorized use of harm. So when you talk about cybersecurity, you're talking about how you protect your data, your content, your information, okay? As you're having your phone in your hand right now, you have a lot of information stored on your phone. Now, once you connect to the internet, all those information are connected to the internet same time. Now, if your domain, I'll call it your domain, whatever domain you're using, is not protecting your phone or protecting your content in your phone, hackers can have access to that phone from any location. And when they have access to it, they can have access to your credit card information. They can have access to your family or medical records. These are what they use, okay? So what cybersecurity does is we create a security bridge. We create a protocol to prevent these hackers from accessing such information, okay, or stealing such information. And that is what this class is going to be talking about. So cybersecurity is the ongoing effort to protect these network systems and all of the data from unauthorized use or harm. On a personal level, you need to safeguard your identity, your data, and your computing devices, because at this corporate level, it is everyone's responsibility to protect the organization reputation. Not only that, you protect the data and you protect your customers as well, because for every information you get from your customers, you need to protect it. The customer will always fill a form online. And when he fills a form online, it gives you all the details, his address, some even ask for their email address and all that. You need to find a way to protect them. Who are the people that does this protection? Is the cybersecurity personnel, okay? So that is what we'll be talking about. So your online and offline identity, those are the things you need to protect, your online and offline identity. As more time is spent online, your identity, both online and offline, can offline, okay, can affect your life. So your offline identity is the person who your friends and family interact with on a daily basis, at home, at school, at work, okay? These are your offline identity, people you meet with. They know your personal information, such as your name, your age, where you live, okay? But your online identity is who you are in the cyberspace, is who you are in the cyberspace. So your online identity is how you present yourself to others online, okay? So your online identity is how you present yourself to others online. This online identity should only reveal a limited amount of your information about you, okay? So you should take care when choosing username or alias for your online identity. That's number one. The username should not include any personal information, okay? It should be something appropriate and respectful. This username should not lead strangers to think you're an easy target for cyber crimes or wanted attention. So that is what online and online identity and offline identity is talking about. Okay, so let's look at your data now. Let's talk about your data. So when we're talking about your data, we're talking about any information you can be considered to be your data. This personal information can uniquely identify you as an individual. This data includes the pictures and the messages that you exchange with your family and friends online. So don't be so surprised that you go on Facebook, you want to send a message, you put up some information. There are some funny people that all they want to do is to get few information from you to have access to your bank details. Okay, so what they do is they say, okay, we already know he has 3 or 4 families. We already know he has this and this. We know he goes to this school. We know he goes to this particular, So at the end of the day, when they have all those information, accessing your banking details is the easiest way for them. All right. So such as name, now that's what they're explaining here. There are other information, such as your name, your social security number, the date and place of your birth, or mother's maiden name is known by you and used to identify you. So information such as medical, educational, financial, and employment information can also be used to identify you online, which is very important. So we have also the medical records. Every time you go to the doctor's office, more information is added to your ER, okay? Your ER or your EHR's records, which is your electronic health records. The prescriptions from your family doctor becomes part of your EHR. Your EHR includes your physical health, your mental health, and other personal information that may not be medical related. So for example, if you had counseling as a child, when there were major changes in your family, this will be somewhere in your medical record. So besides your medical history and personal information, the EHR may also include information about your family, which is very important and has to be protected. So medical devices such as fitness bands use the cloud platform to enable wireless transfer, storage, and display of clinical data like heart rates, blood pressure, and blood sugar. These devices you see that people use can generate an enormous amount of clinical data that could become part of your medical records. So protecting your medical records is also very, very important. So we'll go to the educational record as well. We all know as you progress through your education, information about your grades and test scores comes up. Before today, we don't have that, but now we have it. Every information that has to do with your class, your grades is always online, okay? And about the grades and test score, your attendance in school, course taking, awards, and degrees rewarded. And any discipline reports may be in your education record as well. So these records may also include contact information, your health, and your immunization records, okay? And special education records, including individual education programs. That's the programs you go through. Okay, so this particular education records has to be protected as well. So when we talk about the employment and financial records, your financial record may include information about your income, your expenditure, your tax record. Okay, could include paychecks, credit card statements, your credit rating, and other. Okay, so when the when the line goes off, please try and re-log in again, because I actually logged in more than 1 hour and I programmed it for 40 minutes. All right, so your financial record may include information about your income and expenditures. Okay, your tax records would include paycheck stubs, credit card statements, your credit rating, and other banking information. So your employment information can include your past employment. So all these things actually are what makes up your data. So you have a medical, you have an employment, you have information online, you have your identity, you have your education data, you have your financial data. Okay, so by the time we log in, we continue